I listen to music constantly, all day long, every day, and it's never for any other reason than pleasure. I mean, the fact that I write songs and the fact that I play guitar, that's all for pleasure. I don't do any of that stuff for work, for me, that's what I do for fun, and I listen to music because it's the most beautiful thing in the world to me. Who I am today isn't who I was yesterday, and if we say like age 14, I can tell you some of my favorite songs by the artists who I was listening to at age 14. If we say age 17, I can tell you some of the favorite songs by the artists I was listening to when I was 17. But I can't just say John Frusciante definitively is this or that or this. So today, the songs that I feel like have the most of me in them are this song called Skank Block Bologna by Scritti Politti. It's an early single, and it's on a Rough Trade sampler of Post-Punk Volume 1. And Vandergraaf Generator. There's a song called The Undercover Man off the album God Bluff, and that song is I learned it on guitar last night, and it's such an incredible song, and I've been listening to the album Monobone Jackon a lot by Cat Stevens. There's this song Lily White that really just drives me crazy, and I feel like there's a lot of that in me. I mean, I've been singing that song to myself now for a couple of months, and it really means a lot to me. There's a John Cale song called Amsterdam that I relate a lot to, that I just feel like it has something in common with the feeling that I've tried to put in a lot of my songs. There's a Lou Reed song called Ride Into the Sun that I also feel like a big connection to. Like, I feel like it's just I feel like there's a lot of me in that song. An instrumental version of it can be found on the Velvet Underground album VU, and there are versions of the Velvet Underground doing it with vocals, but it's not on any it's not on anything that's actually released. It's on bootlegs and things like that. But there's actually a French box set, I think, that has a version of Right Into the Sun with vocals done by the Velvet Underground. Oh, and there's also a version on the Loaded, deluxe version of Loaded by the Velvet Underground. But the main album that it appears on is his first solo record, Lou Reed's first solo record. The emotional content of the songs is something that is similar to the emotional content of the songs that I write. It's just songs where the chord progressions and the type of melodies are the types of thing that when I heard these songs, I knew that these were going to be the kinds of songs that I was going to write. Or that when I wrote them, or when I heard them, I felt like they were something that was the basic feeling of the music that I wanted to make. Sometimes you hear things when you're a little kid, and they strike a chord in you. I'm certainly not comparing myself to these people, and I know it comes off looking like that, but these are the people who I feel some sort of spiritual kinship to. The song from Peter Hamill's solo record, A Louse Is Not a Home, is a good one. Also the Red Hot Chili Peppers were something that I would listen to a lot back then. I've also been listening to abstract electronic music like Kevin Drum and Jim O'Rourke and Eckhart Ehlers. And that music has also been connecting with me a lot lately. it verges on egomania, something like this, because I'm speaking about really great people, and I'm saying that this represents me. The role of music's never changed, except between the ages of 16 and 17, because when I was 16, I think I was listening to a certain amount of music because I felt like that was what I needed to become a more proficient guitar player. And so I was listening to things that I didn't really feel any emotional connection to, because that was what was accepted as being good guitar playing by the general public, So I was spending a lot of time listening to music that I was listening to more for technical reasons rather than for emotional reasons. And when I was 17, I moved out of my mom's house, and I moved into Hollywood, and I just made that decision that from now on I was going to listen to music, only the music that made me feel good. So for me at that time that meant David Bowie, T-Rex, Susie and the Banshees, Nina Hagen, the Stooges, Iggy Pop's first few solo records. 17 years old, which was one of my favorite times in my life. The songs that represented who I was then were there's a song by the Tubes called "Crime Time," let's see, like David Bowie, "We Are the Dead." "Into the Light" by Susie and the Banshees. I guess another period of my life where everything changed when I was about 22, due to a lot of thinking that I'd been doing. I was seeing too deep into music. I would hear music, and I would only hear what is supposed to be the underlying parts of it that only go to your subconscious, and that's all I would hear. So down deep inside any good music, there's going to be pain, and there's going to be sadness and suffering, and actually a kind of violence and a kind of ugliness, because that's what music makes good, all those things. It takes something like violence and turns it into a beautiful thing, or it takes something like hardness or heaviness or feelings like being taken advantage of or being hurt. It takes these things and it turns them into something wonderful and beautiful that we can all celebrate together. But at that period of my life, all I could see, I saw it too clearly, and I saw right through the beautiful parts, and I only saw the ugly parts, and so I couldn't listen to music anymore. So I stopped listening to music for a while. The first thing, for a while, all I could listen to was Bauhaus, and that was the only thing that sounded right to me, and any other music still sounded very perverse and disturbing to me. And so gradually, eventually I could listen to anything, but at first all I could listen to was Bauhaus, David Bowie, The Germs, Jane's Addiction, Genesis when Peter Gabriel was the singer, and Public Image, the first few Public Image records and singles. There wasn't a great deal more than that. It was a real small amount of things that I was listening to for a while there. I think, I guess I remember listening to this live Jimi Hendrix tape a lot at that point. The Isle of Wight show. But it seems like those groups are very much connected to what, for me, the real spirit of the music that I love is. I like it when music creates a nice juxtaposition of life and death, or light and shadow, or light and dark. I like it when music doesn't seem like it's running away from either thing. So that's why I like music like Bauhaus and Joy Division, is because it takes death and sort of works it into the various depictions of light that to me sounds like a celebration and sounds like right between life and death, rather than people who are trying desperately to hang on to life or to run after life or something, which is very unpleasant sounding to me in my ears. It makes me happy that my music can do something for people, and I'm honored that I have a place in the world where I can make people happy by playing music. It means a lot to me to be able to do.